Aaron's death had not just an impact on my family, I believe it had an impact on the local community and his friends, and he certainly has left his mark in Portstewart. Aaron was not easygoing, he was quite serious, but he was a happy person, and he loved people, he got on with people, and I think most people liked Aaron as well.
Aaron was a neighbour of mine. The two of us obviously competed heavily in the golf course and on the football pitch. I wasn't very good at football, Aaron was. Tennis even as well. He was one of the most competitive guys I ever met. He was like a brother to me, and I miss him dearly.
I met Aaron whenever I was 11 at St. Josephs in Coleraine and struck up a fantastic relationship with him straight away. I just thought Aaron was just a wonderful friend, and that's how I remember him.
From walking home from primary school together to passing our driving tests and drinking shots of Zambuga, Aaron was probably one of the best friends I've ever had. Just an absolute legend.
We were only, 17, 18 years of age, and we didn't really know anything about people taking heart attacks, and I thought 60, 70-year-olds took heart attacks. I didn't realise young people took heart attacks, and we just didn't know to look out for symptoms, you know.
But imagine we had a good relationship, you know. At times I would have given him a bit of grief. I probably would have been the person who given him the most grief in his life. And it's one of the things that I have to live with. Aaron was always involved in sport at school from an early age. He played soccer, he played basketball, he played Gaelic, and then he progressed on to playing golf, as we lived right beside the golf course here in Portstewart, and he was able to walk out the back garden and go down onto the course. But he was a very good sports person, he was a very good golfer.
Used to look up to Aaron. I was a few years younger than him, and all boys my age sort of looked at him as a role model because he was unbelievable. Well, in our age, anyway.
Yeah, Aaron and myself grew up playing a lot of amateur golf. He was an extremely talented player. We both ended up on the same Ulster team back in '96. I think it was the under-18 inter-provincials, and we used to all jump in cars and drive down all over Ireland from here. And you know, I think he probably had a chance to do something pretty good in the golf world, and it was kind of crazy that something like that would happen to such a fit young guy. And you know, it was a real shock to the system. We travelled a lot together, especially when he played in the boys' tournaments when he was 15, 16 and he couldn't drive. And we spent a lot of time together, and thank God I had the time at that particular time in my life to be able to spend time with him. It was a time when I can look back and very fond memories of the time we had together. I got up as usual to go to work. Early in the morning, he came back home here about 10:30, and I asked him what he was. He said he was going to play a football match for Portstewart. And as usual, I was giving off to him about rushing away from his work and going to play football.
We were playing Ballycastle. We met as usual, 10 o'clock, did our usual warm-ups and got the team started. Aaron was playing left back that day.
He had been feeling unwell during half time, which I was told later.
After the game, ourselves, Ballycastle, as we do, we invite them back to our clubhouse for sandwiches. It was at that stage Aaron took unwell.
After the game, he borrowed a friend's mobile phone and telephoned me. I missed the call and I done a 1471, but I didn't recognise the number and didn't follow it up. And he said to his friend he would leave his car, he was feeling unwell, he was going to get a taxi home.
So we got Aaron a taxi to take him home.
I got a call to go to Portstewart Football Club, so I approached the football club and met this young fella coming down towards me. He was rubbing at his chest and looked a bit pale to me, so I was a bit concerned. He was fairly alright when he got in, still rubbing at his chest, and I says, "Are you okay?" And he says, "Yeah, I just want to go home." So through the procedure of going up the road, and he started slumping back in the chair, and it didn't look too good to me. So I says, "Aaron, you sure you're okay here?" "Yeah, I just want to go home again." He's kept on repeating to me, so I took him towards the house, but on second thoughts I thought I'd be better to take him to A&E straight away. Well, I had a phone call at home about 1:30 that day, and it was from
my daughter Jacqueline in Korean hospital, they say when I got up to the Korean hospital quickly, Christopher was in casualty. And I immediately got into my car and drove straight to Korean hospital. But on the way to Korean hospital, I couldn't figure out at all why this would be Christopher. And the closer I got to Korean hospital, I started to, something just within me told me it wasn't Christopher, it was Aaron. And when I walked through the doors of casualty, the first thing I seen was Aaron's trainers, and that's when I knew it was Aaron. The doctor approached me with a nurse and asked me, was it Aaron Lundy's father? And I said I was. And he just said to me, I'm sorry, but Aaron has died. And I went in and Aaron was lying in the bed dead. That was a shock.
It was a big shock for me to hear that, you know, it wasn't coming back to us. Terrible loss for any family to go through. A young boy at the prime of his life.
Very shocked, as were the club and especially his teammates who obviously went to school with him and played with him, and yeah, very shocked.
Obviously you missed the call. John, is that something that haunts you?
No, I don't. I tend not to think about it.